Welcome to The Snack, a lighter serving of Girls Gotta Eat.
This is a Dear Media production.
Enjoy.
Hi, Snacks.
Hello.
Hi, Ash, I miss you.
I miss you too. We are really across the globe from each other.
It feels like COVID times again.
This is no. 4 years ago, what were we doing? We're doing this. Yes, this is your international snack episode. Sorry we're not in the same room. Sorry if the audio quality is up to par. We tried our best. We've been troubleshooting for over an hour.
Listen, you guys, I had to go to the Taylor Swift concert for you. So you're welcome, and that's why I'm here. But before we jump into it, we'll just thank our partner and then get right in. Thanks to Hungry Root, get 40% off your first delivery and free veggies for life at hungryroot.com/GGE.
We're just going to kick it off with a world news update. We have our international news correspondent, Rayna Greenberg, coming to you live, sort of live, from Bologna, Italy. Rayna, tell us what's going on over there.
I had to come here for the Taylor Swift concert, but so much is happening. The Olympics are happening in Paris, and we have an Olympics Paris update for you right now. So this is on CBS News. The title is Parisians Threaten to Poop in the Seine River to Protest Sewage Contamination Ahead of Paris 2024 Summer Olympics. So basically what has been happening is that the Paris Olympics are about a month away, and there's this controversy brewing over a lot of the sporting events happening in this water and letting athletes dive into the water. And it is widely known that it is a pretty heavily sewaged river. The quote is, residents fed up with river pollution just weeks before the athletes are set to dive in, threaten to stage a mass defecation protest. So they're all going to jump in and poop there at the same time. They're sharing the hashtag. It sounds so beautiful when you say it in French. Je chie dans la Seine le 23 juin, which translates to I shit in the Seine on June 23rd.
Stop. Rayna has more of the news on this because she's the international news correspondent, but I just knew the headlines. That's insane. But it's been postponed. The protest poop has been postponed.
Well, I'm unclear, and Tessa can jump in also. So basically the officials, the government officials were saying, we'll jump in, it's safe. And people that live there are like, motherfuckers, it hasn't been safe in 100 years. So this whole movement popped up. There's actually a website. The website features a calculator that lets users input how far they live from central Paris, and it will calculate when they need to poop in the river for the waste to end up in the heart of the capital at noon on June 23rd.
What? I don't even know how I feel about it. I really laughed when I saw in my Instagram pop up, activists postpone plan to poop in the Seine. And I'm like, what does that group chat look like? Like, they're like, guys, we can't poop in the river together today. Let's try for next week. You know, like, are you in a group chat with your fellow poop protesters? You're like, I really saved up. Like, I ate a lot of fiber. I've been eating a lot of beans. Like, I was ready to fucking take a shit in that river. And then they postpone it. And you're like, what if I can't poop when it's the new date? Like,
what if you're
like, I don't have to go?
People are just like, they're just eating laxatives. They're going to take an enema. Doesn't this feel, by the way, very un-Parisian to you? Like, this feels like this is happening in America. A big group of people that just got together on a group chat and like, they're gonna like, let's take a dookie in this river. Like,
no, it's giving Florida. Like, this is not, it's Florida, not France. Like, this is really so crazy. Like you wouldn't have expected this out of Parisians.
No, I thought you guys were better than us.
Okay, so
I have a poop update for you because you know when you travel, like when you're on flights, you get constipated. The longer the flight, the more constipated. I went to London. I haven't pooped in days, so I had to Google.
You could not join this, Rayna.
I couldn't. Well, I can now because I Googled laxative in Italian. I went to a pharmacy.
Not the Italian laxative.
She gave me an enema.
Not the Melly laxative. No. Why is that so beautiful? Of course, everything in Europe. It's just like. Looks like it's a drizzle of honey on that box.
Medilax, un nuovo modo di liberare l'intestino.
My brother told me that an enema, you can make an enema with water and honey. And I was like, how do you know that information? So we're not doctors. Don't take that info. But yeah, so it's sitting on my desk. So when we hop off, that's what I'll be doing.
Okay. great. I love that update from you. And again, we're recording this just a couple days before it airs. So we hope that all goes according to plan. I don't know whatever the updates are, if they're going to get to poop in this river. Like, I have been in the Hudson when we lived in New York. We jet skied, and it's not, people would be appalled to know that, you know, you're not really supposed to swim in the Hudson, but like, we jet skied. It was like one of the best days of my life. Best couple days, a couple times we did it.
Didn't bother me. I thought I felt like clean enough, and we didn't, you know, who's to say? We showered after, maybe. We went out to dinner
I
first.
did take a shit. It was my birthday, and I pooped in the Hudson.
You did? I hope you weren't near me.
We were on the same jet ski. Okay. Okay, so the poop has been postponed. Okay, so really quick, we are going to get to Taylor Swift. We know that's why a lot of you guys may be here. But another kind of international travel-related headline is that men are raw dogging their flights by giving up all in-flight entertainment and staring at the real-time flight map the entire duration of the flight. And there are actual receipts of guys doing this. This is like a made-up thing. Like, guys are posting, like, I'm looking on Puberty. It's like a picture of a guy. He posted, just raw dogged it, 15-hour flight to LA. No music, no movies, just flight map, new PR. They're having like PRs. Just raw dogged a 7-hour flight, new personal best, no headphones, no movie, no water, nothing. Incredible. The power of my mind knows no bounds. Then this other guy posted 11-hour flight, new personal best, raw dogging the flight map.
Imagine having so little to do and think about that you could do that shit. No woman could ever. A woman is juggling 35 things at all times. Men are like, I'm just going to sit in this box in my head and think about nothing.
I loved reading the comments. Someone said men will do anything besides therapy. Like, what is going on? Like, what? I think it's so crazy. This is my favorite. Are they preparing themselves for solitary confinement? That's what it feels like. This would be a punishment for me. If you were like, you can have $100,000 to take a 7-hour flight with nothing, you can't sleep, I'd be like, I'll find another way to make that money. Like, that really sounds so awful to me.
I would read every magazine on the back of the seat pocket. I would flirt with the person next to me. I'd start a fight with somebody across the aisle. The lengths I would go to.
I just don't understand it. Like, and you're staring at that flight map, like, that feels like a recipe to like going crazy. Like, just staring at this screen for 7 to 15 hours or whatever the fuck.
I do understand like a meditative state where you close your eyes and you're like, I'm going to put all music and all media out of my brain. A chill goes down my spine thinking about my AirPods dying when I'm mid-flight.
Right. I bought new AirPods in the airport because I forgot mine. And I don't know. I also just like, the term is so funny. I feel a little ownership over the term raw dog. Like, I've been using that for so many years. It's always funny. It always hits to talk about. If you don't know what it means just fucking someone without a condom, you know, but like we've used it so many different ways in life to talk about things other than sex. And it's like always so funny. And now it's just on like every meme account. And I swear some people are like using it and not knowing what it means. Like, I feel like somebody's grandma could be like, what is these men raw dogging a flight? You know, like I don't know. I don't love it. I don't love that this word is now just like out here on like my whole Instagram account. Like, I don't know. I feel like that was like you got to be cool to use that word and out of context.
I think it's being misused. I don't, out of context, it's like ironic and funny. Like, this is going to ruin the whole tour. Like, it feels like it's being misused.
I don't think it's being misused. It's just like
misappropriated.
Yeah. Appropriated. I've been saying this since I was 19 years old. I mean, if I'm raw dogging a flight, I'm doing it as God intended, and that's fucking without a condom in a private suite on Emirates. That's raw dogging a flight in my book, and that's the only way I'm going to do it.
I thought you were just getting fingered in the bathroom. I see what you mean.
Either way.
No woman could ever do this. I can't imagine a woman alive that could do this. And again, close your eyes, not stare at a screen, yes. But like, I start to feel like legitimately sick when I stare at screens for too long. Like, that's not good for you. These people,
it's just what I'm saying.
That this is like, they think this idea of this is that it's meditative. You're not supposed to stare at a screen this long.
I don't know what their goals are. I don't know the profile of this man. And like, what if you were dating somebody and you were super into it and he was coming to visit you and you're like, so babe, what'd you do on the plane? And he was like, stare at the flight map the whole time. Like, what would you even do? You'd have to like go back to the airport. We were never going to work. That's crazy. You're a lunatic.
This guy was coming to visit me and I said to him, like, what would you like to do when you're in town? And he was like, I don't know. And I was like, you were on a 6-hour flight. what did you do? And he was like, I watched a couple of movies. And even that I couldn't understand. Like, at no point did you pause to think what I would like to do with my trip in Los Angeles. I couldn't even understand watching 2 movies and not doing that. So like, women, I don't know, we're built different.
But are they thinking about stuff?
I don't think it's that hard for men. No offense to men. I don't think it's that hard for them to just like go into that box in their head.
Space.
Okay, but like you ever ask a man like 2 questions at once and they can only answer one? Or like you're like, what are you thinking about, babe? And they're like, nothing. I'm not thinking about anything.
They're like the Roman Empire. Yeah. They're
Nothing.
thinking about the Roman Empire for 7 hours. Watching the flight map. Okay, so should we move on to the
My
highlight
Roman Empire.
Of your life? Yeah.
Can I just tell you, I am like Katie Heron when she's like, when I wasn't talking about Regina George, I was hoping somebody would bring her up so I could talk about it. This is me about Taylor Swift right now. I went to the concert, the Eras Tour concert in London, the 3rd show in Wembley. It was Friday, Saturday, and Sunday night. This woman, Wembley holds 90,000 people. She sold it out 8 times.
No, I thought
8 times.
I thought it was 9 times. Whatever, it doesn't matter. I've like been doing the math. I'm like, she sold almost 1 million tickets in a city.
Yes.
Like, I don't think it's ever been done before.
And she's also doing other shows in the UK. She also did Edinburgh. Like, it's not like the London's the only stop.
Right.
I mean, I truly feel that the Eras Tour will go down in history as like the Woodstock of our generation. Like, people will speak of this forever. I also don't like to harp too long on a concert other people didn't go to. But like, I was never like, I'm just a normal person who's been alive for 20 years and listened to her music. She's a longtime artist who's phenomenal, but I'm not like let me unearth all the little
Easter eggs
in her music. But like this woman, I watched her play 45 songs in 3.5 hours, no breaks, probably 20 costume changes. I've never seen anything like it in my life. One of our listeners gave me tickets. I purchased them from her, but I love that it came from a fan also. And we were there the night that Travis Kelce came out on stage. And I couldn't believe it. I couldn't.
So, okay, I have like so many questions, Rayna. And also like, I feel like I saw it on my Instagram and texted you immediately and no one was even posting about it. Like that story got shared like so many different times because like, I feel like I was like breaking the news to like a lot of people because I had like a direct line. I saw like one post and I was like, before it was our whole feed, I was like, oh my God, Rayna, you confirmed it. So could you tell it was him at first?
The camera hit him immediately. So
okay. It didn't take a minute to like register.
I was looking at my sister-in-law and she goes, oh my God, it's Travis Kelce. And I was like, yeah, he's at every show, dummy. and I turn around and the giant like Jumbotrons are on him. And I'm like, holy fucking shit. Travis Kelce has replaced her backup dancer. There is 3 guys that walked out. He was the biggest one of all of them. He was on the stage for like 3 to 4 minutes. They did a whole like theatrical thing up there. She like faints, he picks her up. He carried her down the entire aisle. I mean, you guys have seen the videos, but I couldn't, but he looked so happy. He looked so overjoyed and so proud of his girl and just like so excited to just be there and be a part of it. And he was like beaming from ear to ear, just so happy. I cried 12 times at this show. I couldn't stop. It was such a beautiful moment. And I keep thinking about like, what if I was supposed to go to the show in Amsterdam. And then, because my sister-in-law was pregnant, didn't want to travel, I ended up at the show in London. And I was going to try to go to the Friday night show because a friend of ours was still in London. I wanted to try to go with her too. I couldn't make it in time. And then I saw that the royal family had been there on Friday. And I was like, oh my God, I missed the royal family. And I kept thinking, like, what if all these other things had happened and then all these things like converged for me to like be there that night. I can't believe what I got to see. It was like the biggest pop culture moment of the biggest thing happening in pop culture.
I know. I couldn't believe it. I mean, and I just want to also like validate everything you said. I mean, it sounds like so iconic. I can't believe I wasn't there and I'm not going to go to a show. Like, this is friendship defining. Like, this is the difference between us now. You know, like it's good. The tour's going to end. I will have never gone. I should have gone. It's just like, I was sitting on my couch watching the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders documentary and you're at this iconic show that everyone is losing their mind over. And I'm like, we are not the same. And I don't know if we can come back from this. Like, this really, anymore. Like, it's just like, she's different now. And I don't know this is going to ruin our tour. This is going to ruin the tour. But I'm so impressed. I mean, that she doesn't stop and she still does the costume changes and she doesn't take away from the momentum. And just everything you said sounded so incredible. And just like the sisterhood in the stadium and the vibes and the energy and how happy it seems. It just sounds like so incredible. This isn't like a hot take. And I don't think that this is just such a world moment, like whether people have gone to a show or not, or really even care. Like we all know about eras. We all know about what's going on at these shows. We all know about Travis. Like this is like a collective thing I think most people in the world care about. So you're not coming at it as like, I went to this thing and you didn't. Also, like millions of people have gone. Like more people have gone to the Eras tour than any other concert in our lifetime, statistically. But she's such an icon. I'm just so impressed with like everything that you said. And I just love that she's putting him to work. Like I saw that meme that was like, you've seen the show for free too many times, get to work. I love this. Like Sabrina Carpenter putting her boyfriend to work in her music videos. Like this is the summer of like making your boyfriend show up to work. And I'm starting my wheels turning. Like what can we make my boyfriend do at our tour?
Sell the merch. Come out on he used to carry, I've been saying to you, I want me to carry you out on stage. I mean, Travis Kelce, Taylor Swift, I can't actually believe how tall, she's such a presence. I mean, she's like 5'10", 5'11". She is a tall woman. And he is so much bigger than her. To like watch him carry her. I mean, I just want to like also say like, I couldn't believe the like sisterhood in that room. I couldn't stop crying. The amount of girls that were like trading friendship bracelets and mothers that brought their daughters. And like, we sat on both sides of us, like with parents that brought their kids. And it just is so beautiful what she's like curated. I'm amazed. And to like bring her boyfriend into it too.
Also, like today, as we record, the headline is like Travis going on this podcast. I don't know, I think it's called like Bussin' with the Boys or something. And he's saying that like, that's my girl, that's my lady. I'm so proud of her. It's just like very cute. Like that's not a hot take. Like clearly he's just like lights up around her and they're so cute. He wants to be involved and he's letting her put him to work. But that was kind of like the big headline today. And then I love this. I was reading a quote from Chicks in the Office. They posted on their Instagram and it was like, what do you think that conversation looks like when they decided to do that? Like maybe someone else came up with the idea on her team, but like if it was between them, like were they just laying in bed? And she was like, it'd be so funny.
I was wondering that because so he did this whole shtick on stage where she like takes her clothing off and he looks like he's like powdering her nose. I mean, at first I was like, did she hard launch him on Friday? And she was just like, now you're part of the tour. You got to get on the stage. Like the way that she just like sent him into work immediately after launching him. But like they actually had to have like rehearsed this quite a few times because there's a bunch of moving pieces and there's other dancers involved and there was a costume change. So it was my thought too of like, were they just fucking around? I wasn't actually sure in the moment also if he surprised her by walking out because she seems so cool. Like she'd be fine with it,
God, I wonder. I do wonder. I want like, like I think one of the girls in Chicks in the Office said like, I need a whole documentary on just like how this decision was made and the rehearsal and all of that thing. I mean, it's just crazy. It's just like, I hate to even put so much emphasis on this, but we eat this shit up as women. You know what I mean? Like I'm thinking of like the first time we brought my boyfriend on stage, different vibes, guys. But like the first time we brought him on stage, people lost their minds. Like they were like, other people were like, I can't believe I missed that show. Like people were like, he didn't come out in LA. He only came out in New York. It's just like it's cute. It's special. Everybody loves love. So I don't know.
It was amazing to see them together. And yeah, it's so special because you like kind of see them together, but now you actually see them on stage, like performing a skit together. And they went out afterwards. Like I cannot really fathom like the endurance of this woman. Like she did 3 nights in a row, 3.5-hour shows. I was so tired from standing there. I felt like I was going to die. I was in pain and exhausted for like days after. And she went out to Chiltern Firehouse, which is like this famous hotel in London. And the funny, it was a good outfit. But my sister-in-law was like, you should stay at Chiltern. I bet Taylor Swift is going to stay there. And I was like, I don't think Taylor Swift stays in hotels. And she was like, I think that's probably where she's going to stay. You should try to stay there. And I checked the prices and they were like crazy inflated for the weekend. So I decided to not stay there. And then I was kicking myself when I saw these photos of them walking out the next day, but not as much as the people on Saturday night that went to that concert are kicking themselves for not going Sunday.
No, but I was like, she might not have stayed there. I mean, Taylor Swift goes out. She goes out in New York. She goes to regular restaurants that other people go to. Like, I don't know. I do always wonder that. Like, where do you stay? I don't think that she stayed there, but she went there. I could be wrong. You still could have seen her. But yeah, so you mentioned the hard launch. And first thing I saw when I woke up, I think it was like Saturday morning, was this selfie of Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce and Prince William and his 2 kids. And I was like, what am I looking at? Like, I literally like had to rub my eyes. I was like, what am I seeing? What am I seeing? Like, I've never seen this woman post an iPhone selfie, like, and then it's him. And then it registered to me. She's never posted him on her Instagram. Like, clearly they've been hard launched, but she has not hard launched him on her own Instagram. And it's just this iPhone photo that doesn't fit the rest of the aesthetic of her whole Instagram, which is like a whole other thing that's like a Roman Empire of mine. And it's with the royal family. Like, my mind was blown. And I was telling you, I get it. It's the royal family, but like, it's still just like this bald man and his kids, like you still hard launched your boyfriend on your Instagram with just this like gentleman and his like children. Like, at the picture at its core is like you and this family. Like, I know that it's high level, but it's still very funny to me, the overall aesthetic of the photo.
It's very fun. First of all, that's not her royal family. That's just a royal family. Travis Kelce's like, I won this Super Bowl. You want to post that? Which I also understand her being like, that was your accomplishment. I don't need to like take that from you.
Rayna, you're so right. Like, he couldn't have gotten his grid post after the Super Bowl. Well, she kind of got the ick, remember? Because the whole Viva Las Vegas thing. She was like, you're not getting on the grid after that little performance. But no.
I could definitely see her being the kind of person. Sorry, I got a text message that was crazy. I could definitely.
I know. I just saw that too.
Ew.
Ew. Speaking of the ick.
Speaking of people that we hate. So I can see her being the kind of person that's like, that's his accomplishment. I'm not gonna use that for my own thing. But
that's not it. It's not her.
Royal
it's just
family.
I don't even think that. I think that's like, why would she not hype him in that moment? Okay. So I have a question for you. First time you're posting your new man on your Instagram, there's another man in the photo. What man would you do it for? What man would it be for you to do that? For her, it was obviously Prince William.
I like can't. I'm thinking like not my dad. Like, it can't be family. It has to be like a celebrity.
I think Travis Kelce.
Yeah, right. Like, who else are people going to care about?
Travis Kelce, Obama.
Yeah, Barry.
The Rock.
Dave Bautista for me. Yeah, Travis Kelce, Barack Obama. Yeah, your list is my list.
Rayna, you can't do Dave Bautista. You can't post your new man with your hall pass.
Power move.
Power move. I also just like, you know how I feel when, like, I sent you a screenshot of her whole Instagram, like, grid at that time. And it's just so funny to me when something doesn't fit the aesthetic. It's like we both, echoed the sentiment that it's just like all these beautiful professional, like badass photos. There's another one on there that's not that far down. That's like in the studio or something, but it still has like an aesthetic to it. Like, this was just an iPhone selfie in like a fluorescent lit room, like no one looks their best. It couldn't be farther from professional, and it's fine. Like, I think this humanizes her too. Like, she was so excited to post that clearly. But it brought me back to one of my Roman empires, which I've said before on the podcast, but maybe you don't know, and that is the Beyonce avocado. And
it made no sense.
If you know, you know. But before Coachella, Beyonce was doing this vegan diet, and I think I don't even know if she was like partnered with this company, whatever it was. She was posting some vegan like food stuff, like getting ready for Coachella. And there was this photo of this browning avocado on a cracker. Didn't look that professional. Didn't look like anything that Rayna, one hungry Jew, Greenberg would have taken back in her food blogging days.
Absolutely
and it
not.
Still lives on her Instagram. I check on it sometimes. Like, Beyonce's not thinking about this. She's not like, God, one day we got to take down that avocado. But like, I think about it a lot because
it's iconic.
It sticks out on her account more than truly, literally anything else.
Well, hers is highly, highly curated, like exceptionally curated. So yeah, it seems weird. It feels very Taylor Swift to post the royal family with her boyfriend. It feels like her. I don't know.
So do we want to end this with a list of the other celebs at the shows, the London shows?
Yeah, you and Tessa made a list, and you left off a celebrity that was there, which is me. So I added me to the bottom of the list.
Rayna, of course.
Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise skipped his daughter's high school graduation to be there.
Okay.
Obviously, all the Kelseys were there. Jonathan Van Ness.
That was what Jason's first show.
Which is
I
crazy.
think they said.
His first show. Nicola Coughlan.
Crazy. Was in the suite with Jonathan Van Ness. And he was posting with everybody. He was like fangirling.
Nick and Vanessa. Shocking.
The fact that Elite Daily did a roundup of all the celebrities at the show and Nick and Vanessa were on it and you weren't.
How dare they?
How dare they?
How dare they?
I thought they respected us.
Liam Hemsworth, I always forget which one he is. Is he the one that was married to Miley or no? Or is he Thor?
I have no idea. And then there's so many Chris's. I don't know.
Okay. All right, great. Who else do I care about? Hugh Grant just tweeted something adorable about how wonderful her staff was.
Cute.
And like how big Travis Kelce is, Stella McCartney, Cara Delevingne, Leslie Mann. It is so funny to see which celebrities are friends with each other.
Greta Gerwig.
Unbelievable.
Crazy. Theo James, Kate Blanchett, Ellie Goulding. Just totally insane. And I love to see it. And then I just want to say one more thing. Did you see this Dave Grohl stuff?
Yeah. I was a little confused. He basically accused her of not singing her own songs. Is that what it was?
I watched the whole video. It's just this weird, snarky shade towards Taylor, kind of unprompted out of nowhere at his concert. I guess they were playing in London at the same time. And it felt like he had a rap beef with her. It felt like it was like Drake and Kendrick, talking about each other at their respective shows. It felt so weird. And people have said in the past, he's always really shown her a lot of love and respected her. And then I also saw some comments like Swifties have bullied his daughter online or something like that. So maybe it was coming from that. I mean, I could see a world in which you're just so triggered and upset about something your daughter is going through. But it was really bizarre. And I have loved the Foo Fighters. I've loved Dave Grohl. I didn't understand it at all. I don't like to think of him as that kind of person. I'm like, is this just rooted in jealousy because she's selling more than you guys ever have? And, they are some of the biggest rock stars on the planet. And I've seen them twice in concert. I'm such a fan. But it was very strange. It didn't make any sense. And yes, so he alluded to her not playing her own music at her shows. And it's just very weird that he took this moment to be like, who else is in town? Taylor Swift. And talked about her as if she was an enemy. And I just view him differently now. I was a real stan. And it's not even I'm a Swiftie where I'm anyone who bullies Taylor, I have to hate. But I didn't, the tone was so off-putting and odd.
It's very strange, and also having been there, I mean, it did seem as though she was playing her own music, singing her own songs, but also to play 45 songs with no breaks. She did a bunch of songs from 1989, which I'm just looking at the album now. It's Wildest Dreams and Shake It Off and Style, songs you really belted out to, and everybody dances and sings together. If she took a break for a moment and it was just audio and it wasn't live, I also think that'd be fine.
Yeah, I don't know all the ins and outs of it. It doesn't really matter. She's an incredible artist and songwriter and all the things. And she, plays her own instruments. I mean, whatever. I don't need to dive into this because I actually don't know. I don't want to misspeak. But regardless, what are you doing, Dave Grohl? What's the point of this?
You're
jealous. It's giving
one-sided beef. It's so embarrassing.
That's what I always say. Nothing more embarrassing than one-sided beef. It just was giving bitter old rock star. It's these kids these days or something. It was very weird, but I guess who knows the history there. But people said in the past he's always said really nice things about her. So I don't know what happened there. But anyway, okay, we can move on.
It's funny because she's been bullied by so many people, and she's keep it up. Thank you, Amy. Anyways, it was an incredible experience. I'm a fan for life. I could not think more of this person as an artist, and just I just love it. I love their love, and I'm so happy I was there. I think about it every day.
Yeah, stay tuned to see if our friendship survives this rift. Okay, quick break so we can tell you more about Hungry Root.
So Hungry Root is the easiest way to eat healthy. They send you fresh, high-quality groceries, simple recipes, and essential supplements. It's your personal assistant for healthy living. So if you guys want to essentially save time on grocery shopping and save the brain power of what do I like, what's good for me, what's going to be healthy for my body, or just new and creative, this is a great site. So you go on, you take a quiz, they ask you all kinds of super granular questions about what you like to eat. Do you want to do fish or meat? What kind of ingredients do you like? like even down to what kind of appliances do you have in the house for cooking. And then they essentially put together these boxes. And each order is fully customizable, so you can take their suggestions or choose anything you want. And they've got fresh produce, high quality meat and seafood. There's all these snacks, smoothies, sweets, tons of stuff. Everything from Hungry Root follows a simple standard. It's got to taste good, be quick to make, and contain whole, trusted ingredients.
Yeah, I've been loving it, and I'm like pretty picky. I'm picky about my fruits and vegetables, very picky about chicken. Chicken can like be a little weird, like meats and things like that, like poultry and meats. And so theirs is like really high quality. I've had some like amazing of their like ready to eat meals, like pastas. I've made tacos with the recipes, and the snacks are great, and I've had some really delicious desserts. But yeah, I like really can't recommend it enough. And it's so nice to just have it delivered to your door and you have your food for the week.
Yes. So right now, Hungry Root is offering Girls Gotta Eat listeners 40% off your first delivery and free veggies for life. Just go to hungryroot.com/GGE to get 40% off your first delivery and get your free veggies. That's hungryroot.com/GGE. Don't forget to use our link so they know that we sent you. Of course, all of our links are on our website at girlsgottaeat.com. Okay, next up, Kaitlyn Bristowe kind of broke her silence on Jason Tartick and their breakup. He hard launched his new girlfriend. This was on the Almost Adulting podcast. And we do want to say before we like jump into this that we really like both of them. They're friends of the show. We really enjoy and like both Kaitlyn and Jason so much. So we're just going to sort of like analyze what she said just in terms of like dating and relationships in general.
Yeah, we've had like a long professional relationship with Kaitlyn. Like we went on her podcast really early on. It was right while she was breaking up with
Sean,
yes. And she hadn't really announced it yet, but she was just like, I don't know, we kind of felt that energy when we talked to her. It was such an honor to be on Off the Vine like so early in our podcasting career. And we've done multiple collabs with her. And then obviously you listen to the show, you know, we had Jason on just a few months back and people loved his episode about money and relationships. And so we're invested in them as a couple we were. And now kind of like, you know, Rayna and I love to analyze a breakup. And then the stuff that she kind of came out and said, which it sounds like this was like the first time she's really talked about this. I don't know if she's been talking about it on her podcast, but she really opened up on this podcast, Almost Adulting, and it was like so vulnerable. And, you know, we read an article where they just kind of took all her quotes, and that's what they do. They take stuff, I mean, sometimes out of context, and it's just a bunch of quotes, and you don't know the way a person said it. You don't know their tone. You don't know the rest of the conversation. And so I always just want to say that. And headlines and articles can just really make people think a certain thing that they wouldn't think if they like listened to the whole conversation, you know? So I wanted to go and like listen to the whole thing and really see where she was coming from. And I just think, you know, when someone is really vulnerable and like opening up, how can you really fault them for like feeling a certain way? But anyway, we can talk about like what she said.
Yeah, I mean, listening to it all, like you said, I mean, outside of the headlines that are just made as clickbait, listening to her talk about it and adding some context here, I really understood what she was saying. And basically she was saying in my previous relationship, which I think she was alluding to Sean, she felt like she wasn't chosen and that money was more important than she was. And it was very triggering for her when she found somebody, Jason, that she thought wanted to be out of the spotlight following The Bachelor, wanted to be in finance, and then he kind of sort of changed the terms of the contract and decided he wanted to launch his own podcast. And it felt very triggering to her because she had found podcasting pretty early on, I think, and finally felt like she found this thing that she was meant to do on this planet, and it was so special to her, and she resented that he wanted to also do it.
Mm-hmm. And it sounds like she even had a previous relationship before Sean that was like, she felt like she had nothing to offer. Like she felt like she didn't have any special talents or some impressive career. And then she found like podcasting was the thing that really gave her identity and success. And she was really good at it. And she kind of said like the one thing I just asked of Jason was, please don't start a podcast, which it's like, whatever, you guys can decide if you feel like that's a fair ask for your partner or not. But like, she really explains why she felt that type of way. And I think Kaitlyn is really open about her insecurity and her like anxieties and things like that. And this like previous trauma of not feeling chosen. And like, that's so huge for her. And so you see both sides. And this was with Violet Benson, and Violet said like, she was like, well, I see his side too, you know, of him basically saying like, well, you can't like hinder my professional success. But I don't know. It's a really touchy subject to talk about. And I just feel like obviously there's got to be a lack of security in your relationship or just within yourself. If you think like, if my partner starts doing something similar to me, he may not think I'm special anymore and he may leave me. Or even feeling competitive with them in general. Like for me, which everybody's different. So people just like kind of take their own life experience and apply it to this. And that's where they start judging. But like for me personally, I mean, I would probably be like, yeah, do it. Like, let's do this together. Like build this empire together. You know, like we can only help each other get better. If you have a podcast too, and we're this like podcasting couple or whatever it is, like, I don't want to work with my partner at all. But if he wanted to have his own thing, I'd be like, well, this could kind of just grow us together. But she's got to have, there had to be a part of her that was like not feeling secure that he was going to stay with her or something.
Yeah. I mean, I think that relationships are a lot of gray areas. This is like the least black and white thing to me. I think she was in this impossible situation where she was like, this is triggering to me. And I think I signed up for one type of person. You're telling me you want to be a different type of person, but I can't stand in your way to make money. Like, I think that she did realize on a level that this was not fair to somebody. Also, he does have his podcast is about finance, and he has an expertise and a background in that. He speaks really intelligently about it. He wrote a book about love and finance. I loved the book. I thought it was phenomenal. We interviewed him about it. I mean, he clearly knows what he's talking about. He didn't launch a competing podcast about a bunch of nonsense.
Right. He wasn't like, my podcast is called On the Vine. It's going to be different, I swear.
It's dating. Yeah, I interview Bachelor people. So I understand where she's coming from. And, you know, I think that, like, just because I told you I would be a certain way 3 years ago does not mean I've signed a lifetime contract to never change the terms. And that's really tough. And I think it probably was a tough pill to swallow that he then hard launched this girl who is an influencer, who seems lovely. I don't know her. She seems adorable and light and fun and full of joy, but different than Kaitlyn and the path that Kaitlyn's taken. I'm sure it was hard to see.
Yeah, I think Kaitlyn doesn't want to be a woman that's like, you can't start a podcast. You know what I mean? Like, I think she's like, who wants to be that person? You know what I mean? But like, here we are. And this is going to make me feel a certain way. So that's my boundary. But yeah, there's different things of looking at it. So like one part of it is like, he was on The Bachelor. He's not just like a guy that just wants to work at a bank. Like he's got like a notoriety a little bit. Like, you know, there was a sign there that I would never go on a reality show. Like, you know, and I'm a podcaster. Like he wanted at least to go on a reality show. It's in him. It's in him to want to be influential, a person in the world. So there is that. And I think something else from the article that people want to like bring up and maybe, you know, throw in her face even is that he got fired from his finance job because of some stuff she was saying about their relationship. And she talked about this on our podcast years ago. She talked about him like sexually. They were like dry humping when she was on her period and she was talking about it. And he basically got fired from his job from it. He didn't really love his job anyway. That's been out in the open. So he probably would have left. But, you know, I don't like she can't be blamed for that. I mean, like, I hate that shit. You can't, like, it's like they were talking about something illegal, you know, they're talking about sex. I understand that, like, you have a job where if someone Googles you, they don't want that to come up, like, whatever. I guess I see that side of it, but it's just like, let's not give her the blame for like, well, you made him lose his job. So what was he supposed to do? I really don't like that narrative.
Well, what if he had gone on The Bachelor and made it further and was in fantasy suites? Would they have fired him for that? Like, he's already put himself in other positions to get quote unquote fired. So to me, it's not like relevant. And also he spent many years working before he started this podcast. And I think he has every right to make money and monetize it. She has every right to not like it, you know? And I think it's a really unfortunate situation. And I hate when I feel resentful about stuff that I know maybe feels a little bit childish or is informed by my own triggers, my own trauma. But like, that doesn't mean I'm going to unfeel it, unfortunately.
And you know? I mean, at the root of it, it just feels like they weren't the right match, obviously, whether it's all of her trauma and anxiety that he was triggering, like that wasn't the right person for her. He wasn't providing the security she needed, to no fault of his own, as far as I know, but just in just terms of starting a podcast. But it did trigger her, and it sounds like maybe that was like the last straw of maybe what other issues might have been brewing. I mean, I don't know. We don't know like all the ins and outs. We aren't like sitting down and talking to them about their relationship, but it sounds like she's also been dealing with this a lot in therapy. I mean, Kaitlyn is like, she's really vulnerable and she's really open, and I do feel protective over her. as someone that we know and someone that is like, I don't like that I was like this and I'm trying to work on it, like all of us are. You know what I mean? Like, we're not perfect.
Yeah, I mean, I adore her. She's always been like so good to us and wonderful, and she's open about her shit, you know? She said this thing, and you actually have even probably more of a touch point to this because of comedy, but she said, like, this is the one thing that's mine, that I started early, that I felt like it was my purpose in the world. It is just mine, and I'm good at it, and I'm special at it. And like, I think for you, if your partner started a podcast, different, but like you have comedy, and that is this thing that's like just yours and it's sacred. And like, but how could you ever tell your partner not to go into comedy? There's no barrier to entry.
I mean, you see this a lot, and it would break us up if he started doing stand-up comedy. If he were to start a podcast, fine. I think he's like so smart and brilliant. I guess it would be about cars. I mean, I don't know. Like, I think he's wonderful and I would support him. But if he was like, I got to start stand-up, I'd be like, I can't watch. It is to start stand-up is the most cringe, humbling thing for anyone, whether you're like naturally good. And I think he's so funny. I think he's like the funniest person. He has me laughing all day, every day. Like, it's not that. It's not that like you're so not funny. It's literally like you got to be doing 2 minutes in an open mic in a basement. It's so like awkward and painful. And I just don't think I could fuck someone after watching that. And that's my truth. And you see it all the time. Like, you really see couples. We know some. I'm not going to name any names. Like, I've seen a lot of couples where, I mean, both sides, where like the guy, if we're talking heterosexual, where the guy starts doing comedy and then the girl wants to start doing it, or like vice versa. But, and there are plenty of comedy couples out there that like work.
Listen, you changed the terms of the contract. I don't know if I could deal with it. Also, like, I thought I was dating a 9-to-5 guy that I could like travel with and go to weddings with and birthday parties. Now you're just in a laundromat basement 7 nights a week.
So it's really interesting. Like, her hard line was, you cannot be like an influencer. And it sounds like she made sure, like, you promise you're not gonna be an influencer. But to his defense, in the back of my head, I'm like, I was on reality TV. There is a pipeline there. It's like pretty straightforward.
And it's everybody else's pipeline on that show. Yeah.
And then it sounds like he started to dabble. He lost his job. She said he dove in headfirst to influencer. And so she's like, okay, well, please don't be a podcaster, And again, like, it's not necessarily fair. And he is good at it, like you said. And it's clearly weren't the right match. And now it seems like he's with somebody that is. And I hope she finds somebody that's like a great match for her. I would love to see her just like find that true love and someone that makes her feel like chosen and secure. And she deals with all of her stuff. And, we like wish happiness for them both. But I mean, you dated someone who had a podcast and it was like a lot.
It started before me.
Yeah. It's true. It's true.
We met on his podcast.
It's true. Yeah. And so I guess you can't really relate, but it was just like you had a much larger podcast.
Yeah.
That can get a little
weird. It is weird sort of swimming in the same pool. And if one person is wildly more successful than the other, and you're just like, I want to help you, but you're also my competition, but also this is embarrassing. I don't know.
Yeah, it's not. I don't want that type of person. I don't want like an influencer. It wouldn't be what I would want, and I don't think it's certainly on the horizon. And I certainly wouldn't tell my partner they couldn't do something if they were really passionate about it and it was going to make them money. I mean, except for stand-up, but they're not going to be making money, so it's fine. It's the one thing I had. You're not going to be a famous stand-up comedian. Don't start.
I mean, I guess there is risks and rewards to everything. You can say to your partner, you could do this, but I can't promise you that we'll be together at the end of it. And them's the terms.
Uh-huh.
Well, we wish them both the best because we love them both. And we hope that they are both very happy. And that's it. All right, so you introduced me to this. You were like, it's all over the internet. I was like, I'm in Europe. I don't know what you're talking. We don't have the internet here.
I would never. I'm too classy for this.
I don't know what she's talking about. Well, you introduced the topic. I caught up to that. I really caught up, and
Okay, so I want to hear all your thoughts. Okay, we are talking about Hot Tuah. This is Hot Tuah girl. Can I just tell you, Rayna, that I got a DM from my brother. No context. All it said was, you got to have Hawk Tuah on the podcast. And I was like, what athlete is this? You know, like there is an athlete, Tuah, like that's his name. People are associating the two. But I literally was like, what is he talking about? Hawk Tuah. That sounds like an athlete. Sounds like it's like a football player or a skateboarder. I don't know. I was like, what is he talking about? I need more context. So I like started Googling, and then he sent me one of the videos and stuff. And then I realized, but it basically was like this street interview, Tim and D TV, just these guys on the street, like interviewing people.
Rolling out of a bar in Nashville, just hammered.
They were in Nashville. Okay, I was wondering where they were. Okay.
Yeah.
It was giving like college town vibes.
Yeah.
So they just were talking to these girls, and this one girl was like very funny, lively, drinking, like just like life of the party vibes, like your crazy drunk sorority girlfriend kind of energy. But anyway, he just asked her like, do you have any sex move or something that I forgot what the question was. Just like, do you have any tips, right? Like for the bedroom? And she, about like sucking dick. And she was like, you gotta hop Tuah and spit on that thing. And people went crazy.
What's one move in bed that makes a man go crazy every time?
You gotta give him that hawk Tuah and spit on that thing. You get me?
I have watched 96 TikToks about this today.
Okay.
So it's a longer interview. I've pieced together the full interview. She's talking
the
about
rosters and all that stuff.
Yes, she's going through a breakup. She says the only way to get over a guy is to get her another one. I mean,
Yes.
she is the Gandhi of her time. She was just stumbled out of the bar and dropped the hottest line of the summer. I love her so much. She's so delightful. And then all of these women are like, this is how I got a husband. This is how you get a boyfriend. Like, and then like other girls are like, shh, don't tell other women about this. Like, keep the secret.
Okay, but can I just say that this brings me back to, it might have even been the Jason episode. It might have been the Jason Tardik episode in the intro when we got an email, how do I spit on a dick? And we answered it. So I just want to go full circle. Like a couple months ago, we were talking about spitting on dicks because people want to know. And at that point, we didn't even know Hawk Tuah. But I've been thinking about like why this went so viral. And it's the sound effect. And like, you never thought to like say that for that action. But I think it's truly her enthusiasm for sucking dick. It is the enthusiasm.
She's so delighted, and when she makes this sound and she's like, spit on that thing, her accent, she's so happy. She really dropped that with the most confidence I've ever heard. Like, that girl really does that. Even her friend was like, skirt. Like, it was just incredible. I love her. I'm so it's delightful to watch.
Yeah, people have been trying to find her, and I guess they've sort of found her, but she certainly hasn't outed herself. Like, she hasn't really come out. And I saw some articles that she was a preschool teacher and she lost her job, but I'm like unsure if that has been confirmed. Like, there was a whole Facebook group and the preschool or the school made a statement, and I just don't think it's been substantiated. But I mean, if she got on OnlyFans today, I mean, I don't know what she's doing, and OnlyFans is not for everybody, but if she just Hawk Tuah girls on OnlyFans, right? I don't even know what she would make in a day. Like, if she started
1 million followers in a day.
I know, because it's reminding me, like, when a phrase or something goes so viral, it almost kind of reminded me of Catch Me Outside and how that girl, she went a different direction. She was like a rapper, but then her OnlyFans. I mean, that's kind of what made me even think like Hawk Tuah on OnlyFans could just be crushing it.
I mean, I'm so fascinated by it. So they misidentified, they thought it was somebody else, and then this girl came forward and said it's not me. And then they think they've found the girl. She is still private. And all these people are like, you should come forward. Why aren't you? And it does make sense that she was a preschool teacher. It definitely has to be something where like you can't be public. You have to commit to Hawk Tuah forever.
She could do it. She could do it now. And I mean, she could try her best. Like, it could just be like a flash in the pan. But then, look at Catch Me Outside girl, Bad Baby. But
look at I'm looking for a man.
Right.
Who's 6'5".
Right. Like, she could be making a song, she could be making merch, but she was reading as a college kid to me.
I think she's young. I thought she was like 20, 21.
Yeah, I just thought they were in college. That was like the energy in like the best way. Just like slutty college energy.
The looking for a guy who's 6'5", that girl was on like the Today Show. People have made songs about it. Like, I mean, I guess
I'm thinking about Hawk Tuah on Today Show. Like, talking to a girl on the Today Show, on The View, on Good Morning America, them trying to they're like, we got to book her. She's of the moment. It's the hottest viral thing right now. And they're like, how do we talk about this?
You can't. We should book her for vibes only.
I'm going to tell you something now. I didn't tell you this yesterday. So we shot a video yesterday, Andrew Collin and me in the studio to promote the lemonade blow gel. It will, as this airs, if you guys are listening, it will be on the Vibes Only Instagram, and there is a nod to Hawk Tuah. I think you're really going to like it.
Yes!
Our editor was out this week. I edited it myself, so please, give me some grace. But it was, very fun. So I'm really excited for you to see it.
I can't wait!
I know. We had a lot of fun with it. Because, if you guys don't know, we have a suck and blow gel that is flavored oral enhancer for sucking dick and eating pussy if you like. It's vulva safe, but most people use it for sucking dick. And so, if we can get some of our suck and blow gel into Hawk Tuah's hands, oh my God, we could do a collab.
Hawk Tuah collab.
I wonder what her favorite flavor is. Hot Cheetos.
Pickles. Bacon.
But I was on a TikTok whole last night about the Chamoy Pickle.
No. What have you been doing since I've been gone? What have you been doing? You said Hawk Tuah, and I was like, what is she getting up to now that I'm not there anymore?
Pickle?
The Chamoy Pickle? No, I haven't heard of this.
So I saw this video, and it was Amanda Batula and Paige drunk eating this insane thing. I don't even know if it was an older video. I don't know if it was from Summer House last summer or if it was this summer. I don't even know. It showed up in my algo. So it must have been fairly recent. And it was crazy. And then I go into this whole about this red pickle, and you put sour straws in it, and you wrap it in a fruit by the foot, and then you put Takis in it, and it was insane. It was truly making me feel like I was going to dry heat. So anyway, you guys, Chamoy Pickle.
I'm looking at it now. That's crazy. This is so gross.
And they sell kits.
This is insane and disgusting.
It's a TikTok thing, and they sell kits for it.
Ew.
No, and they say it's a mix of sour and sweet. I'm literally it made me want to throw up. But no shade if you guys like it. But the video was very funny. It was Paige and Amanda and West comes in and takes a bite. It was funny. They were drunk.
That's really funny.
And then the other one thing I just wanted to say, I finished the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders, DCC documentary, America's Sweethearts on Netflix. I loved it so much. I have so many thoughts. Rayna hasn't watched it yet. I really feel like you need to watch it, and I want to break it down. I'm
going to watch it. I love a documentary. I love cheerleaders. I sort of dated somebody who worked for that organization, and that is my ex. And I just have to have a conversation with myself where I'm like, Rayna, we're not going to watch this drunk, and text him because we do not want the door open for any communication. And I think once I do that, I could watch the doc. I'm excited.
If it's too triggering for you, but it's not he's the one that got away or something.
Or whatever. Gross.
You're really gonna love it. And I have a lot of thoughts. And I think there are certainly some problematic things about NFL cheerleaders and in general, and what they get paid. And that's something that I've always known. And people are all hot about it. And I'm oh, we've been knowing this. We've been knowing that they do not get compensated appropriately, but it's really great seeing the sisterhood and all these young women and their stories. And I love cheerleadership. It's the same people that did cheer.
Fuck yeah.
That did it. Did the
They're already in the culture. Fuck yeah. Okay, great.
They are in their lane. So that is the main thing that I have been watching, and I'm going to force Rayna to watch. You have some flights coming up. I think you should download it for the flight. It's going to be good on the plane.
Oh, that's a good call. Okay, I'm going to do that. I'm excited. I love cheerleader shit.
Okay, and our question for the week, we're going to end with a question. It's got to be, are you spitting on a dick? Or are you going to hop Tuah and spit on that thing? Let us know when we put up our Instagram poll. Or let us know in the YouTube comments.
Yeah.
Or let us know if you have other dick-sucking tips. People love a blowjob tip.
Did our whole episode about it. People still love it. Okay. Well, this was great. I loved doing this. I could not wait for this episode. I was so just overflowing with excitement to talk about all this.
Well, hope you guys enjoyed it. And you can find us at girlsgottaeat.com. We cannot wait to start our tour on September 21st. And through the year, we have shows all over the place. So girlsgottaeat.com for that. We are Girls Gotta Eat Podcast on Instagram and on TikTok. I am Ash Hess. Rayna is Rayna.Greenberg. And of course, subscribe on YouTube. Share this episode with a friend. If you are liking the snack, hit us with a rating on Spotify, on Apple. If you're loving it, just hit the 5 stars. We would love if you feel inclined to write a review about if you're really liking the snack. So we would just encourage you to share the 5-star love if you are enjoying this. And we will not have a episode on Monday. So we will not see you guys on Monday. We are taking the week off. So take that time to listen to an old episode and watch on YouTube, leave a review. But we will miss you guys. And then we will see you Halloween week.
Have a good week, guys.
Have a good 4th. Happy 4th of July.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.